All right, so I got Cox and Mix right here. So try to learn some new animation ideas for the NPC.
Yeah.
What's NPC stands for?
NPC stands for non-playable character. It's usually the term referred to characters in video games that you normally can't actually play. So it's the idea that there's a character in the background who maybe you interact with sometimes if you give them money. And so their movement is relatively limited. It's similar to Robot in the fact that it's a character-based dance and it has a limited series of techniques and vocabulary. You want to limit the kind of range that you're using, and by committing to that consistently, you create this kind of animated character, right? So the idea is there's a couple different fundamental ideas that we want when we're trying to recreate the idea of an NPC. So the first is you want to make sure that whatever character that you pick, you commit to it fully. If you break the character, it breaks the illusion. But one of the first things that I think we can start with is just finding just a stable pose, right? So there's two poses in video game characters. One is the A pose. That's basically just having your arms out, right? You don't have to move for this. It's just a stable pose, right? We're not animating anything yet. So we'll get to the second part in a bit, but just having the ability to just like find your frame, and that's where you're going to move from, right? Kind of like in Robot, you're gonna find a frame, and then you're gonna be able to move from there. This is gonna be your frame here. Now we're going to just reach out and grab something. I'm gonna reach out, I'm gonna swipe, I'm gonna basically close my hands and bring it back. This doesn't have to be crazy technical. It could just be like a swipe, and then that's it, right? And then as soon as you come back, right, you're just gonna go back into this frame, right? So just reach out, grab something, and then come back. So now that is the motion. What we're going to have to add to it is the transition from one animation to the other. That's really the key in the NPC style, is a lot of these anims or animations, and the transition from one to the other. So now the A pose is just a static image and is not animated yet. If we want to animate it, we're going to create what's called the idle position. This is what happens when your character is just standing there. And it's usually designated by your breathing, how your character breathes. So if you find a way to breathe in and out and allow your character either to float up and down in one way or another.
So the breathing kind of like a knee?
Yeah, you're like, think about breathing, but you're like using your knees to like lift you while you do it. And then sometimes your arms can go out, right? So this idle animation has arms that go out that are symmetrical. But some people have arms that are asymmetrical, so they'll be forward and back. That's another idle animation, right? You can do arms that circle each other, one way or the other. But either way, you have this breathing bounce. This is your like foundational like station. This is where you want to start. Being able to just breathe in and out, lift with your chest, and then exhale down. Use those knees to kind of keep you bouncing, right, a little bit. Usually the slower the better. Once you get too fast, you need to be really good in control to like kind of make it feel normal. Otherwise it feels like you're just going a little too fast, right? So keep it like a little faster than normal is okay. That's probably a good spot. Now from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reach out again. And what we wanna do is you wanna dime start out of this. So if you've picked up on some of these concepts from Tabo earlier, you'd know that in a motion from here to here, the end part, that's the dime stop. If you're gonna start from a position about an inch or a centimeter, accelerate into that motion, and then create your consistent motion. That's the basic idea for a dime start, right? So out of this, we're gonna dime start into the grab. So we're gonna go boom, grab, and then we're going to do that same motion into the idle. And that chaining of one motion into another through the dime start is how you create the illusion of the NPC motion. So just being able to walk here, right? Or, sorry, before we walk here, just the idea of like,
grab something. Dun.
yep, and then snap right back into idle. And if you want to do it again, you can. Boom. Right? So that's like the basic understanding for how to start it.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. But you want to make sure that your hand is like kind of all the way back to normal. If not, you want to try to accelerate to the beginning of the A pose to make it look like you're skipping a frame. So let's say your grab animation is incomplete. You'd start from idle, and then you'd grab, accelerate into the grab here, and then it's incomplete.
Oh, okay. So pretty much you canceled it.
So you cancel the rest of it, right? And to make it consistent, you would want to make sure that the skip happens in the same part every time.
Ooh. Ah.
Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. That is the basic for NPC style. There's if you want to glitch out, right? One of the funniest parts in video games to me, that's like a huge inspiration in pursuing NPC, is glitches. All the different ways in which video games can mess you up, or the characters can be messed up in video games. So one of the most iconic glitches is what's known as the T-pose. Now remember when I said that there are two poses?
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes a game will glitch out and it won't give your character a command, or your character won't read the command that it's supposed to be doing, and so it goes to its default pose, which is the T-pose, and it'll just go there randomly. So just how we canceled our motion or use that speed control to change into that position, being able to go from an idle pose to T-pose and then back
Oh shit.
is a very fundamental, yes. Yeah. And the important thing is that the T-pose doesn't float. It's not an anim. It's not an official like NPC animation. It's a glitch. It's something going wrong with the character itself. So this is the character functioning as normal, and then in a T-pose,
Nice.
you have that little pause, right, where you like all your motion is stopped.
I get it that quick.
Yeah, and there's like a little that like subtle, like sometimes you can turn it to the side, one side or another, and that can help create, make the glitch look a little bit different or a little more interesting if you just offset it by a little bit, right? Use that like dime stop from your core, boom, to make that change happen. Yep. So the arms, don't want to smack anybody, but the arms just go straight up, boom, right? And as you do that, just shift 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, boom, while you pivot from your, turn from your core, boom, boom.
Nice.
And so walking uses that same technique, that sort of like animation cancel technique. Yeah, the dime start, right? It uses a lot of that. So the walk is your normal walk, but like even dumber than your normal walk. Like think about a really dumb walk that's just like very like it should feel kind of silly almost, or too light. It feels almost fake, right? Because it's you can't actually it's meant to look like it's doing more than it is, right? So if you're trying to walk, we want to start from idle, and then we're gonna walk, right? And we're just gonna use that dime start, boom. That's gonna come from the core, boom. That same turning from this, boom, here, we're gonna do that forward, boom, right? And we're gonna go from this, and we're gonna, just like we did for the T-pose, here, we're gonna go here. And that's gonna start our hands moving forward for the walk. So all together, that means we're going to engage the core forward, and we're gonna bring the arms forward at the same time. So instead of just going up and turning, we're gonna go forward and push this way. So here it is, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1.
I'll go too slow.
And then boom.
I'm gonna catch up.
Right.
So boom.
And then-
that
and then-
must move, right? Just that must walk.
Yeah. Honestly, like if you make it like really silly, like it should look fake, right?
The last part you turned out was.
Like it's you can play with the level of realness you want to go for. If you want to make it your normal walk, like all of a sudden you're just walking normally. If you're here in idle, then you can go. And if you notice that when I tilt the direction in place, my feet always reset under my chest.
Yeah. It's like a straight line.
So there's in games you can only look to the one side so far before your lower body catches up.
Yeah.
So
Then I'm gonna twist it all the way like this.
even if I move consistently,
They just.
you just want to make sure that your upper body is moving consistently as you do it, right? It's less of a twisto flex, and it's more of a consistent. Your upper body is always moving, and your lower body is consistently
Not going like a
In your-
45 and over. Yeah.
exactly.
Just
exactly.
this much. Like a 30.
Yeah.
Keep it at 30. If I don't go like.
Right.
There you go.
Yes. It's almost like that that Bay Area
Oh yeah.
where the upper body is moving smoothly and your lower body is going toop toop toop.
Oh,
Right.
Shit. All right. So maybe you just done right now. We go to part 2.
Cool. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Thanks so much. Practice your NPC. Thank you, Tabo,
Yeah,
for
no,
helping
thank you.
share
Thank
NPC
you.
culture. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Mick, MVP. He puts the Mick in MVP.
That's another one. Yeah.
So yeah, you can do this with any gesture, any movement. Practice, have fun, and if you post an NPC video, tag us. I'm at Crocs_Ticken. That's CLOCKS _TICKIN.
Give me the link again. I'm gonna post it.
We'll post that. We'll
Yeah.
we'll post the link in the description. But go ahead and tag us if you ever make an NPC video, if you feel inspired. Thanks so much, and I'll see you around.